this is Whispering Whim, bringing you another grocery haul today. I went to Sam's Club and Winco and spent slightly less than $200, so kind of a light one, but I got the things I needed, so let's jump right in. First up is some jalapeno ranch popcorn. You may recall that I got this as a whim maybe 2 months ago now. And the boy really liked it, so we're gonna keep that. And then I was also nice and got his favorite potato chip, kettle cooked salt and black pepper. Also for my guy, I got some mini strawberry donuts. Interestingly enough, apparently the Little Debbie brand is his favorite brand. I accidentally got some Hostess, or rather, I was at a store that didn't carry Little Debbie, and he told me later on that he thought they were very, very dry, and he would prefer this brand if I could, so that's no issue. And then also for him, we got some circus animal crackers. Just to brighten up his lunchbox. You know I love to give him some nice little surprises. I did see animal crackers in the bins, and I usually try to shop the bin stuff when I can, right? But I like circus animals. And I was afraid that if I had a big old bag of it rather than individual pouches, that I would like convince myself that one cookie was okay and then eat like 20 cookies. So I think this is a little safer for me. On to more boring standard stuff. I have a nice roll of paper towels and some iced tea bags. And this was gonna be a little surprise for my guy. During the holidays, I didn't do my diet very well. I managed to keep my weight off but not lose any more. But I'm gonna try extra hard now that it's the new year. And I figured I can give him these. They're easy to boil. And I can throw some cheap spaghetti sauce on there and call it a boy-approved meal. And then I can just have a salad on the side. Along the vein of salads, I picked up some dried craisins, or dried cranberries, rather. The off-brands of cranberries taste weird to me, but the bin one is pretty good. Got some avocado. Next up, we have a giant bag of salt, only like 38 cents per pound. And I hear that using the bin bags is at least a little more eco-friendly than buying the containers of salt. So there we go. And the bottom of this bag looks like it is a bunch of citrus. We've got a lemon and a bag of cuties. Or rather, not cutie brand, so just regular mandarin oranges, right? Or clementines. For our next bag, we'll go ahead and go through this little guy right here, which is really good for carrying jars of stuff. So I got jalapeno ranch for my guy and Caesar dressing for me. And it looks like, oh yeah, this bag also has some tofu in it. I've been trying to reduce my imprint on the world, right? Not super hippie like extreme, but just in small ways. And moving to non-animal protein, at least part-time, is supposed to be good for that. I don't have a good history with tofu, but I've had it in an acceptable, kind of like when they're fried in cubes. They're not too bad. So I'm just gonna give it a try. don't have high hopes, but you know, slightly optimistic. Finishing up this little bag, we've got some Better Than Bouillon beef base. It is indeed better than bouillon. It's kind of like having a very sturdy supply of beef stock, although it's a little saltier than regular beef stock, so it's still good. Next up, go ahead and go through this little bag here. Got one lonely little piece of bread. Now that I'm going to be super serious about my diet, I'm not going to eat any bread. So I'm going to make steak sandwiches in a couple of nights. And this is so his can actually be a sandwich. Mine's just going to be like, I don't know, either thrown on a salad or something. Next up, some freezer bags. And jalapenos. I think you can tell that someone enjoys jalapenos in this household, considering our next item is some crispy jalapeno toppers. You can put these on salad, but they are also good on top of like chili and tacos and all sorts of things. Next up, we have some parsley, also bought at the bin section. I just finished up a regular, seasoning shaker for parsley, and I saved it, so I'll be able to throw this right back into that shaker and reuse it, so I'm proud of myself. Some chicken stock. It's really good for making hearty dishes like pot pie and fun things like that. And then some Triscuit. That's a pretty standard item, right? Probably get that like every shopping trip. And then we've got some protein shakes, so I can get all big and strong. Last but not least, for this particular bag, we have some white beans. I make a white chili with jalapenos and cream and chicken and cheese, lots of cheese. And it's become one of my guys' new favorite dishes. I mean, I've been making it for a few months now, so not super new, but the newest new. I'll go ahead and point out the things that are kind of hanging out in the corner here. Got some Nutri-Grain bars, some Chex Mix apples, and then these nuts are a surprise. I'm surprised on how much I like them. It kind of seems like a budget brand. I got them at Sam's Club. And they do have sesame sticks in them, which I kind of view as like a filler item when you have nuts. But I ate a handful of these before the video was made, and they're actually really, really good. As far as like the diet goes, you can't eat a ton of the stuff. Nuts have a lot of energy packed into them, but they're full of good fats and minerals and vitamins, so as long as you can keep your portion size small, they're pretty decent. Now we're heading into refrigerator stuff, which of course means lots and lots of cheese, starting with some pepper jack cheese and moving on to some cheese strings. We also have a big old bag of broccoli. I like to roast my broccoli in the oven, and when you cook it, it gets a lot smaller. So we actually eat like a third of this in one dinner, which is kind of crazy. Seems like a lot of broccoli. Next up is my diet-friendly guilty pleasure. Yeah, it's expensive. And it's kind of high in fat, but a lot of low carb diets recommend eating extra fat, right? And I don't know, it's my treat. And then to finish out my Sam's Club stuff, kind of, I got some cold rotisserie chicken. I was actually happy to see this. Basically, they'll cook the chickens and then the next day they'll pull them apart. Maybe. The reason why I'm happy to see this, well, there's two reasons. One, it's a really good price on chicken. This was only, I tore the tag a little bit. $1.33 a pound. It's pretty inexpensive. And the other reason is that I used to work at Sam's Club, and I knew for a fact that sometimes they would just throw away the chickens. Because of the way liability works in America, a lot of big food chains will just throw stuff out instead of donating it, right? Which is sad all on its own, because there's people that could eat some rotisserie chicken, right? But on top of that, it just creates a lot of food waste. So then you have an environmental impact, right? Because all this chicken is getting made and no one's eating it. So I'm happy to see them attempting to resell. This is the first time I've seen it in a long time. And because the chicken's pre-cooked, I'll be able to, after the video, kind of dice it up and portion it out, and it'll be perfect for salads. So it's kind of like a win-win-win, in my opinion. And now we're on to our last bag. It's pretty full, so we should be okay. First up is some ground beef. I decided against buying the super jumbo pack at Sam's Club for this month, just because I want to shift towards, healthier proteins, the tofu and more chicken. And so I only got a couple of ground beefs. Next up, we've got some salted butter. Love me some butter. Some mozzarella cheese. And it looks like even more cheese. Some nice Colby Jack that I'll be able to cut up into cubes. And I'll take a small portion of that prosciutto and I'll make little hors d'oeuvre toothpicky type things and throw them in my guy's lunch just so he can feel fancy for a day. Here is that steak that I'm going to cook up for steak sandwiches, or at least a steak sandwich, and then steak on the side. It got a little squished up in the bag, but it should be okay, right? And then this is my surprise impulse buy of the trip. Roasted garlic. I can smell it through the package right now. It seems like it's very potent stuff. And honestly, I was going to not get it just because it's more expensive than regular garlic and that's a lot of plastic. But I don't know. Curiosity got the best of me. And I'm definitely not as good as I hope to be. So hopefully this stuff is good though. Might be fun to try a slightly different flavor because I typically will use raw garlic and give it like a light saute. Roasted garlic is a bit sweeter. Kind of caramelizes when you roast it. So might add some extra dimension to my meals. We've got some half and half because I am a big coffee drinker. Next up is some bacon. I'm way too much of a passive person. I asked for half a pound and she gave me a whole pound and I didn't want to argue with her. So it wasn't going to be an argument, but I just I don't know. I should stand up for myself. So now I have a whole pound of bacon, which, we'll eat. I just didn't plan on buying that much. And then some creamy Swiss garlic and herb flavor. Should be tasty. And it's pretty low carb. And not that bad on the fat either. It's mostly protein. So, yay, random cheese thing. And then last but not least, we got a big old bag of carrots. I meant to get the extra giant one from Sam's Club, and I forgot. So this will definitely get us through a few weeks anyways, so you can always buy more later, right? And with that, we're at the end of the video already. There may not be a second video this month. We'll see. I'll try to find an alternative. But Bobcat in the Box has been started. Unfortunately, many of the items that the robot picks out for me, or for people in general, comes from China. So the shipping is really long. Hopefully there'll be enough packages in next month that I can start doing Bobcat in a Box unboxing. So we'll see if I find the energy to make an alternative video this month. Otherwise, shout out to like Skittlebrains and Thor Stronghammer, Chicago Born, Quiet Noise. There's so many of you guys that are so wonderful. So thank you so much for commenting, and I will see you next time. Nighty night.